I just want you to, okay, so we have Vonna Edoff, a close neighbor of the Maudes. So can you explain to me, please, what property it is that the Forest Service is complaining about or claiming that the Maudes have used?
Well, this side on top of that fence right here. This side of those stakes is his ground.
So this is Maude private property here. Okay.
And then from this over to the fence is the Forest Service ground that they had issues with. But
Okay.
it's been used this way from his family for years and years and years. That fence was here in the 50s.
Okay.
It was all here before Charles was ever born. What his family's done. The Forest Service has never had an issue with it. They've always okayed. He has signed his 10-year lease. Never an issue. His yearly management plans that he always does, they've never had an issue. Until a supposed hunter complained about a sign that was at the top of the hill instead of halfway down for no hunting.
And they grazed on Forest Service allotment this year as
Yes.
normal, correct?
Yes. He's got some private ground in the Forest Service that's not fenced, and he uses that. And then there's some that the Forest Service is in his that he has grazed.
Right.
So the 25 acres is part of this cropland, and then there's another 25 acres that they say he's grazing. Well, that's just on the other side of this fence. And this fence was originally put in, I'm assuring that because the river would take it out, they moved that fence over here.
Right.
So that's why the fence is where it's at.
And then there's some Maude private property that is fenced
Inside
into
the
Forest Service allotment,
yes.
correct? Yes. And the Forest Service manages that.
Yes. If your private ground is in amongst Forest Service ground, they will manage it, and it doesn't matter if it's 1 acre or 10 or 50.
And
They
that
will still manage it.
and the size of their private property that's in the Forest Service is similar to what.
I think it is. I'm not positive with the acreage, but it's pretty close to the same acreage. That they maybe could have done a trade, or the Forest Service could have maybe outright sold this piece of ground to Heather and Charles instead of getting it into this mess.
Right.
That should never have happened.
Right. Okay.
There was many. They could have used a small tract
Many-
back. They could have used a trade agreement, but for whatever reason, we're at this point.
Right. Okay. Very good. Okay. Thank you, Vonna. And this has been here, or this was put up recently?
These were put in here from Travis Lunder's. When they had one of their original meetings, the Forest Service said they needed a survey. So Heather and Charles asked to be notified and not to come on their private ground.
Right.
Let them know.
Right.
Lunders came with the surveyor that he obviously hired, and it should have been a third-party surveyor, but it wasn't.
Right.
And he came down here with those surveyors, and they put these markers in.
Okay. And the surveyors and Lunders trespassed on private
They were
property.
on this private property.
So they drove across this property, correct?
Yes.
To get to this property to conduct the survey.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
And Charles and Heather were never notified that this survey was going on. They found out later.
Okay.
And they have never received, from my knowledge, the results of the survey
Okay.
officially.
Okay. So we're still guessing, really, at what the indictment is over.
Yes.
We don't know for sure, right?
That's.
But we assume
because we don't know all the.
that
we
it's
don't have
this.
the survey.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay.